Hi, Team MG. It's Michael Gascon, the horse guru, here with Summer, an 11-year-old Western pleasure mare that's with the Horse Haven Ranch Therapy Center. Today, we're going to give you tips on how to get that beautiful bathing out of your horse. A lot of folks don't know this, but there's a lot more to bathing a horse than just throwing some water on and getting the dirt off. If you take a couple of these tips and apply it to your horse at home, very soon you'll have that beautiful coat, that show coat that you've always wanted, and your horse is going to be the shiniest of all your friends. So we're going to start with this. One of the things you'll notice again, every time that we're doing anything that they're tied up, you see we love hitch and post. Hitch and post is just a safe way to keep your horse stationary without them coming forward to you, backing up away from you. If you don't have this at home, of course you can bathe your horse with anything, tie him anywhere, or ground tie him if your horse ground ties. This is just the method that we prefer. But we're going to start by wetting our horse down. And the thing that I want you to think about the most, when it comes to bathing, you're doing what you're doing, always thinking of the end result. So whenever I'm grooming a horse or whenever I'm bathing a horse, I'm thinking about what their coat is going to look like at the end. So whether it's grooming or bathing, I'm always trying to train their coat. I want to get their hair laid down and slick. Just like that guy, you know, that slicks his hair back and he always looks like he has a shiny head. Well, it's the same thing we want, but it's more desirable on a horse. We get that hair laid down, that the sunlight bounces off of it, the horse is going to look beautiful. So just starting here, we're going to hose her down. A couple of things you're going to notice. Whenever I want to bathe her neck, I'm going to pull her ear forward. We'll get her cheek, her neck. This way, none of the water gets into her ear. Notice how I'm always pointing the hose in the direction that her coat lays. So right from the very beginning, it's going to lay that coat down, lay that mane down, lay all her hairs down, get them nice and flat. Make sure to get underneath, in between here. Whenever you're going to wash, it's very important to wash underneath the tail. Where the tail connects to the horse's rear, it's very easy for sand and dirt to get trapped in there, and then they'll start rubbing themselves raw and get blisters, and the horse will act very ornery in the saddle. There we go. Come back to her mane. When it comes up to the head of the horse, I like to aim for the star right in between their eyes, and this is where I aim the water, right here, and then everything else I'm going to do by hand. A lot of people just spray the whole head of the horse and get the horse very head shy when it comes to the water, because they're getting water in their ears, they're getting water in their nostrils. So if I start here, and I'm able to rub my horse all over, there we go. Bring that ear forward for this side. Nice. Now you have to understand, all the crooks and nannies on a horse, right here beside their nasal cavities, up around their ears and their bridle path, the indentions right above their eyes, all these are places that funguses like to grow, and they get muck in it because it's hard for them to get it out. And us as people, a lot of times we miss these little nooks and crannies whenever we're washing them. And again, you'll see they'll start losing hair here, they'll get itchy, start scratching and itching themselves there. So always a very important place to scrub and rub whenever you're bathing them. Now that we have her all wet, we're going to get some shampoo. And again, you're getting the insiders, what the world-class trainers are using. So many folks, look at this. This is dollar store brand dandruff shampoo. Okay, costs you $2 or $3 compared to the exorbitant number of horse shampoos and what they cost you. And dandruff shampoo is going to be great for your horses, especially in the transitional seasons. Whenever they start scratching and itching, rubbing their mane out, rubbing their tail out, a lot of it's because of dandruff. So if we get this shampoo, it's going to be light on your wallet, and your horse is going to look great because of it. So we're just going to give her a little line here, put it on her mane, a little bit on her face. There we go. Nice. Just like that. Once we have some shampoo on her, I'm going to hose her down. Put a little water in that shampoo, and we're just going to rub it in, just like that. I was telling you before, get all those nooks and crannies. So one of the things that people say is they'll send us these horses that are very problematic, and because of it, they've been out in the field or they haven't really been messed with too much, and they send them to us to start a horse for 30 days or fix a problem horse for 30 days. And when they get them back, aside from fixing them in the training aspect, they say, wow, the horse looks amazing. And that's because since we were born and raised on a training facility, that's kind of our standard of how the horse should look. We want them to have the highest quality coat, sheen, shine, the way they look. Makes for a happier horse, a horse that's not itchy, a horse that doesn't have all that dead hair all over them. And because of that, people are just amazed that their horse can look like this. So many of the things in the horse industry, it's not the breed or the quality of the horse, but the actual quality time that's put into them. So extra 10 or 15 minutes a day or a time that you spend with your horse can really make the difference. When you see these beautiful show horses that look absolutely like art, something out of a picture or a magazine, it's not necessarily the breeding, it's not necessarily the breed that they are or their bloodlines or anything like that, but the conditioning that's given to those horses. Every time those horses are taken out, they're washed up and groomed the same way, they're bathed the same way. So you see here, I'm just rubbing in all directions here. I point that out because whenever I finish, I'm going to rub everything in the same direction to train that coat what to do. So right now we're trying to break everything loose. This mare has some beautiful jaws here, beautiful head. Just gonna scrub her all over. Very nice. Make sure to rub under her chest. Now, everything that we do with the legs, we're gonna make sure to protect ourselves. So whenever I'm brushing the front leg, I never let my face and head get in front of her knee, because the horse can strike you and you'll have a bad day. But if I'm rubbing on those legs on here to the side, I'm always keeping one hand on her so I can push myself away if there's a problem. I never have to worry about the repercussion. I always want to scrub here where the girth's at. And remember, so many people see the amount of training that's put into a horse in a short amount of time, and they're, wow, it's amazing the work that you guys can do. What they don't realize is a lot of this, there's so much hands-on outside of training, outside of work, just touching them and bathing them, fly spraying them, laser sheeting them, scrubbing them down, that by the time that you get them back 30 days later, they're just very calm and gentle. The next thing, the same way as whenever we are grooming a horse, when we get behind the withers, we're going to switch hands of our brush. Here, we're going to brush with our left hand. One hand on the horse. There we go. Those flanks. Again, we're just trying to keep our head from behind the horse. Whenever we drop down, we're going to keep our head as high as we can. There you go. Nice. Whenever we're working on that main forelock or tail, we're going to spray it. And just like you're washing your hair at home, we're going to work it in. Just like that. You see old Summer here, she loves this part of the day. So people ask me, hey Michael, do you shampoo the horses every day? Absolutely not. When it comes to the shampooing of a horse, you're going to do all this every time that you work with the horse aside from the shampooing. So usually I'll shampoo a horse once a week, once every week and a half, depending on how dirty the horse likes to get. But I don't want to shampoo so much that I take away from the natural coat sheen. There we go. Now we just like washing your hair at home, we want to get all that shampoo out. Back here. Now the trick is here, whenever the horse starts and they start to give you a little problem and throw their head up, try not to react to their reaction. All right guys, so Miss Summer here has just a beautiful backside, but the icing on the cake is going to be this tail, of course, just like we said before whenever it came to the grooming. So we want to make sure to wet it down, just like this. When it's good and saturated, we're going to get our shampoo. Again, dandruff shampoo from the local dollar store, and we're going to put it in 2 places. Put a little bit here on the bone of the tail, and then right here at the tip of the tail. I'm going to start rubbing it and working it in. Now this is the part where people mess up. Usually, people just want to clean the end of the tail, the actual hair. But the hair of the tail doesn't bother or affect the horse. It looks pretty for us to look at, but if they're scratching or itching or something's wrong with them, it's going to be right here in the bone where they can feel it. So this is where you really want to use the end of the tail as your sponge, and you want to clean under the tail. You really want to scratch and itch where the hair grows out of, because that's where the discomfort is going to be. Use it to get right in between their legs, because again, a big mare like this, she's so big and so thick that in between her legs touches. So if she gets sand in there and she's rubbing against it, she is going to easily get blistered, get sore. And a lot of times you'll find a nice, sweet horse like this that doesn't react to much, and all of a sudden she's acting funny under the saddle, she's twisting her tail. You start seeing different places on her butt that have been scrubbed on, and it's not because of something out here that you can see. It's because nobody's washed her underneath her tail, where her tail and her butt meet, the bottom side of her tail. A lot of times those horses, when you start washing it, you'll just find gunk there, and that'll be the source of your problems. Now that we have the tail done, the other thing that nobody wants to work on is between the horse's teats. The best way to clean a horse's teats out are right here. The time that you're washing the tail, we've already washed in between her legs here. There's nothing there. The next thing we'll wash is in between her teats. So what we're going to do is we're going to take her tail that's already soapy. We're going to bring it under here. We're always going to step to the side because a lot of these mares don't like their teats touched. So we're going to come here and wash her. You see if she gets fussy about it right there. And the reason she's fussy about it is because there's gunk in there. So if you see the black stuff coming out of there, all that is just gunk from her working, and it gets up there between her teats. And again, when that starts to build up, she's going to start itching, she's going to start acting a little funny about her backside, and it's all going to be because that hasn't been washed off properly. That's it. So using her own tail is going to be a great sponge. We get all that off, reach back in there to feel around. You feel it's pretty smooth. Again, just a little bit more gunk. And so many folks, just nobody's told them about this. You hear my father growing up as a child. Papi, you gotta clean the teeth. You gotta clean the teeth. The what? What? The teeth, Papi, the teeth. Look, like this. Perfect. So all the gunk's out. Now we're gonna come back and get all the shampoo off. Make sure to get all that in between her legs. There you go. Beautiful. Excuse me. All right. Now here's the secret. You want to make sure that whenever you're doing this, that you're squirting all that water to lay that coat down. Move over. Awesome. She has such a big butt that water starts rolling back towards her back. We want to squirt all that shampoo right off. And notice how we keep squirting until we see all the white bubbles disappear. It's very similar to what we do in the shower. You just keep showering until all the soap is off. There we go. Nice. The next thing we're gonna do is, of course, always whenever we're grooming or bathing, one of the very important parts is the tail. So you come right around here. All right, guys. So whenever we get all the soap out, what we want to do is, in the tail, start from the top to the bottom. I'm gonna put our hand right here. There we go. All that shampoo coming out. Notice I don't drop my head too much. There we go. One more time. You look at the bottom of the tail there. There's nothing coming out but water. One last thing, we're gonna make sure we got those teats cleaned up. And what you're gonna feel when you feel under there between them is really where the problems happen. And it should feel smooth and easy. You should feel no grime, no residue, no gunk. Perfect. Nice. Now this is where the magic happens. So if I was riding a horse, and I told you I don't shampoo every day, I shampoo about once a week. So this is really the difference in my weekly bathing and my after the ride bathe. If it's just after a ride and we're not shampooing the horse, we're just gonna use the hose and really spray hard and get all the sweat and residue off of the horse's mane and coat. Then what we're gonna do, this is the kicker. Remember, most folks can wash the dirt off of a horse, but they can't get that final touch. The final touch is this. Whenever you're going to squeegee off a horse or dry the horse off, don't use a squeegee, use a brush. When we're getting that excess water off, if I use a brush, look how the hair is already trained to lay where it's supposed to lay. Look how pretty that is, and we haven't put any product yet. We just want everything to lay and mat down the way we want it. Just like that. Perfect. We even have a small brush just for their face. So we get all their face brushed out just the way that we want it. Perfect. Now this is the kicker. We're gonna put a coat of laser sheen. There we go. This is gonna get a protective coat. And any horse that I ride is gonna get a minimum of an hour tied up so they can dry. This does two things at once. It lets them dry off before you put them up. The other thing it does is lets them think about the work that we've done today. Now you see that coat is just beautiful. Just give it an hour or so to dry off. And the tail, we're gonna take it right here, start at the end of it. Make sure that there's no knots as we work our way up. And the idea is to take as little mane out as possible. Just like when you ladies are brushing your hair at home, you don't want to break the hair or damage it. And really what damages the hair the most is being dry. There we go. Come up to the mane here. Make sure there's not a speck of anything. Perfect. That's how we groom the horse. From here, we would leave the horse under a fan if it was hot, or if it's cool like it is today, just let her stand here, think about the work that we've done, dry off, and whenever we come back, we'd be able to put her in her stall. Since she has that protective coat of laser sheen over her, then whenever she goes back to her stall or goes out to roam around the paddock, whenever she rolls or lays down, that dirt is really not going to be able to penetrate the coat. It's really just going to fall right off of her. Whenever we bring her out of the shavings tomorrow, out of her stall, you'll see you'll brush her and she'll look like she's just been bathed. And that's just what we're looking for. And just a little bit of time, with spending this little bit of extra time with your horse, you'll be able to take a horse from looking like a ragamuffin to looking like a show horse. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching our video. Make sure to get in the comments below and give us your feedback. Let us know what all problems you're having, if you're having any problems with the steps, if there's more videos or problems that you would like to see. We just want to better help you bond with your horse and help fix some of your equine problems and reach your equine goals.